Our first season of Championship has been going surprisingly well so far. We haven't really been challenged yet, but that changes today. We're taking on Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are by far and away the promotion favourites for the season. How's that going to go? Let's just get into it. So things have been going pretty well down at DanSkorne Park. We're going to get into the recap in a second. We've not really got much else to go through today. Just Chima Ali has been kicking off a little bit that he hasn't received the playing time. I mean, it's understandable, I suppose. He literally hasn't featured this season after being a pretty mainstay in our first team for the last two. So he'll probably be getting a few starts coming up. But, you know, I did manage to get him down to breakthrough prospects. So it has taken him this long to kick off. But, yeah, anyway, let's just get into the recap. We've played 8 games since we were last here from the Man City game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. This is going to be the 8th today. So obviously in the last episode we lost 2-1 in that match against Man City. A bit disappointing, but not entirely unexpected. A nice 2-2-2-2 away fans showed up. But then speaking of disappointing, we also failed to win the next game with a 2-2 draw against Swansea. And to be honest, we were lucky to escape with a 2-2 draw here and get a point. Swansea went into a first half lead. We managed to equalise from a corner, I believe. And then they took the lead once again before Yaya Boyang secured a point in the 88th minute. I think that was a lovely through ball from Lettinen. But yeah, you can see from the XG, I mean, the chances we had were good chances, but they had more shots on target, much more possession. And overall, you know, that point felt like a win, if I'm honest. We did manage to win in the start of a very successful October. We played Birmingham City next. This one was pretty dominant, to be honest. Somehow they finished up with more XG, but I think that was actually a pretty late barrage of chances. Posh got one back in the 77th minute for them after Benson and Bellingham got 2 first half goals to put us very comfortably ahead. Another game that I will say, this season, we are not having much possession at all. 61% possession for Birmingham here compared to our 39%. But they did not very much with it until late on, and we managed to reap the benefits from that. You can see like none of their players played particularly well, apart from a couple of defenders and goalie. When their strikers end up on 6.5 and 6.7, not a whole lot happening there. But a much better performance came in the next game up against Stoke. This one was a pretty mental game, to be honest. I think we're just going to hop into the highlights because the first goal in this was very rare in Football Manager. You don't see many of them, and even though it wasn't a great example of them, from this cross to come in, ball comes up and a lovely overhead kick there from a prefer. Not a great overhead kick when it bounces before it goes in like that, I suppose. But it wasn't long before we got back into it. Wilson gets the ball in here to Boyang, who rockets it off the near post, and it goes in. Then at 71st minute, we just brought Geordie on at this point. It hadn't been long on the pitch, but Wing gets a nice ball through to him and he pops it in the bottom corner in the 71st minute. And then not long after that, the ball comes to Barbrook and he puts it through to Geordie again, who somehow stays onside here, who I think that's a questionable decision, but I'm not going to complain because he gets another goal just 2 minutes later. Stoke did manage to get one back here with a nice little finish into the bottom corner before Geordie almost managed to get his hat-trick, his first hat-trick for the club. Gets inside here and it just comes off the post, but luckily Barbrook was there to put it in and make it 4-2. Brilliant result for us there. Boyang had just signed a new contract with us. He scores the first goal. Geordie comes on and nearly gets a hat-trick. I can't complain there. I feel like everyone was coming together. It was a fantastic team performance and it was a very good 3 points. Next up, we took on Middlesbrough at home. Yet another absolutely mental game here. 5-2 was the final score, but as you can see from the sidebar here, notable events, it could have been even higher than that. And I mean, it felt like even if it had finished 6-3, that might not have done the game justice. Although, you know, they should feel pretty lucky to get there too, because neither of them were brilliant goals, let's say. It all started off in the 23rd minute. Boyang picks the ball up here, gets it inside to Bellingham, who just sort of runs through the whole defence and puts it in the far corner. Well, puts it at the keeper, who parries it to the corner. And if we were saying that the overhead kick was the pinnacle of what a Football Manager could be in the last game, this is probably the low light of what a Football Manager can be. When the ball, but Boyd gets the ball to Boyang here, he shoots, it just bounces off O'Neill's back here and cannons into the bottom corner. O'Neill knew absolutely nothing about that, but not going to complain still. Then a nice little passing play here. They end up coming through on goal and manage to get one back to make it 2-1 just before half time. But then into the second half, this one goal was quite nice. Kevin O'Neill picks up the ball here, gets it to Boyang, and I mean, he does what Boyang does best, an absolute rocket into the top corner to make it 3-1, I think, at this point. Oh God, I'm losing track. Then Foyer gets the ball to Boyang, a lovely ball over to Bellingham, who managed to pick up another goal for himself with a nice finish from a tight angle. Before just a few minutes later, they managed to get another goal back when Meredith gets a bad hand to the ball. doesn't clear it out far enough, and they managed to capitalise on the error. But then we weren't quite done. Geordie decided he needed to get on the score sheet himself, got behind the defence there and put a lovely goal into the bottom corner to wrap the game up and secure a lovely 5-2 victory for us. As you can see from the XG, it was very much all us. They should feel lucky with their 2 goals. You know, one was a nice team play, but the other one was very much a goalkeeper mistake. Fantastic midfield performance. You don't see that very often. Both Van Mazala's 9.7, 9.5. Absolutely fantastic from the both of them. Which brings us on nicely to the 2-0 victory over Rotherham, giving us a 100% win rate in October. This game was quite tight, I will say. We got a relatively early goal, 26th minute from Kevin O'Neill, and then Geordie tied it up at the end. They didn't have too many dangerous chances throughout. I mean, yeah, you can see from the XG, it's pretty bad. But this one was one that, once we went ahead, the only worry I had was that we were going to get FM'd, because they weren't coming forward, but sometimes you get those games where you score early, you dominate the rest of the game, you can't get the extra goal, and they just nab like a 94th minute equaliser. Some like 46-year-old player that scored his first ever goal for the club. You know how it goes. But that was the end of the good times, unfortunately, because since then we've gone on a 2-game, well, not winning streak at the very least. First time we've won 2 games without a victory in this league so far. Started off with a 2-1 loss to Charlton, which this one did take me by surprise. You can see from the XG, it was a relatively even game. 3 disallowed goals in quick succession in the middle of the game. It was all a bit of a mess, to be honest. They did sort of edge us throughout, but I did feel quite annoyed that we didn't manage to come away with 3 points here. And then, speaking of annoyed, the Sunderland game, both sides must have been annoyed with a 0-0 draw here, because I feel like the XG in this game, 1.86 to 1.79, and neither team managed to score. Just constantly good chances on both sides. Both defences played pretty well, and both goalkeepers put in basically star-man performance on their team. No, Iwuwalawala managed to get their highest rating. This game, it should have finished like 2-2, to be honest. But, you know, we got a point. I can't complain too much. It does mean that at the moment we are not in the automatic promotion spots for the first time this season, but I'm still very happy to be up in 3rd. It's way higher than I expected to be at this point in the season. And I do believe we are the top scorers in the league by 2 goals, Stoke managed to bring up the 2nd place there. So very happy with that. But I will say, this does lead us on to today's game, which is going to be a bit of a tough one. We're up against Wolves. They are obviously the league favourites to go up. Only 4-1 on now, which is obviously much lower than they were earlier in the season. Have they actually sold many people? Because they did have some absolutely massive names. Yes, £60 million in transfers out. Although Thomas Souček going out, Nunes going out, Andre Onana going out. I did say that he was the star goalkeeper for the start of the season for the division. Obviously not anymore. Nottingham Forest in the Premier League decided to pick him up. He can be a bit error prone, but he is far too good for the Championship. I don't think there's any question in that. It is actually probably worth, now that the season started, I don't think I even looked at this since. We can look at the team detailed overview. Salary per annum, they are spending 70 million on wages, and we are, I assume all down at the bottom, 1.75. We are almost 4 times lower than the next one. Is that 4 times lower? I think so. Oh God, my maths is really coming back to bite me here. So yeah, we are over 4 times lower than the next highest wage bill. Net transfer spend up at 22nd. That's kind of respectable for us. That's 15 mil profit. Although stadium sellouts, we have had 7. So, you know, it's all swings and roundabouts. Lowest attendance is us, which is lowest attendance 5,300, average attendance 5,300. Is that our stadium size? Facilities 5,300, yeah. So we have sold out every game, essentially. Cannot wait for this planning permission capacity to come up. I really hope they decide on a couple more seats than that, to be honest, because I would hate for us to get promotion this season or next season. And, well, I think that would be enough for the Premier League. But I'm not sure. It would be very close. But either way, I think we just get on with the game. We've got to go forward 8 days to get to it. So I will meet you back then. Oh, but before we get to that game, I had a fantastic bit of news. Jose Antonio Major? On loan out in Spain. Yes, Osasuna in the second division of Spain, has had a work permit accepted. I'm so glad I'm surprised he didn't get it straight away. I know the quality of the country you play for matters, and El Salvador are not the best team in the world, but he is the best El Salvadorian player. He has got 30 caps and 7 goals, and to be honest, has got really good stats. I would like his first touch to come up a little bit, but he's only 19, and he's got plenty of room for improvement according to this. I don't actually remember if I can recall him from the loan. can be recalled, so I actually might bring him back when the transfer window opens in January, and we can have him training with our first team and maybe even make a few appearances, because I do think he's more than good enough. Yeah, good Sky Bet Championship player, and I do see him as a probable long-term replacement for Barbrook or O'Neill. It's very excited for the prospect to have him potentially leading our line. Oh, he's so fast. This might be the real life me getting a bit of stick pleasure out of this. We've had 2 offers for Leighton Welwyn. Solihull Moors and Bromley have both come in for him on loan. And to be honest, I mean, Bromley are doing better in the league. Oh, God, misclick there. Bromley are in 11th, Solihull Moors are in 14th. But Solihull Moors are my local team, and I did go to Wembley to the playoff final where Bromley beat them this year. So, fuck them. You can get to Solihull Moors on loan, mate. It'll give them a bit of a boost. Finally getting my own back on that big wasted day out. And the big news just keeps on coming. Jack Gould, the chairman, has agreed to upgrade the club's training facilities. It's going to cost about $1 million, but obviously we did get a big chunk of money in at the start of this season. So absolutely delighted for that as well. Just going to get more out of our players. And, with us being in the Championship and stuff, it does make more sense for us to have better facilities, because we are going to be getting some big boys in with this money we have got. And so we're finally onto the game, and I think this is how we're going to be lining up. We've got Meredith in goal. I'm giving Aliyu the call up on the left back position. I'm a little bit concerned either him or Hughes, basically. One of them should be playing. Hughes is rated slightly better for it, and he has always been our first choice. I think his set pieces could end up being important, I don't know, and Aliyu's got a devil of a free kick on him, so we're going to give him a shot. Aaron Nobes has played the last few games there, but he's on a heavy workload, so I am giving him a little bit of a rest, and we're going to give Chima Aliyu a little run out. Alvaro and Kehound at centre-backs, Winters get on the right, Foyo defensive mid, Wing and Bellingham and Mazzalas, Lettinen in front of him as the enganche, and then we're giving Geordie the call up front because he has played very well lately, along with Barbrook. This is pretty much entirely down to form, but Geordie has played very well. We've still got Kevin O'Neill on the bench if we need him, so we'll see how it looks. I will say we are struggling a little bit for defensive midfielder positions. Obs Foyo is not fully fit, some way short of fitness. We don't actually have another defensive midfielder really we can play. Boyd is our other option there normally. Boyang has stepped in there in the past. None of those are available. So we actually might look to. It's funny enough, at the start of the season, I nearly signed 1 or 2 more midfielders and thought I really need to stop, because I'd got Boyd, Boyang, I had got a few people to cover the attacking midfielder spot. Then I'd got Atchinger, Clark, Wing, Foyo, Bellingham, Lettinen. I thought that is way more than you're ever going to need. And now look at the situation we're in. I could probably do with 1 more in the defensive midfielder spot, because just 1 injury. Well, Foyo coming back from an injury, being a bit short of fitness, and badly timed injuries for these 2 have left us right in a very bad position. So either way, Winter's skill and Navarro are lacking in much sharpness. Well, we're only coming up against the highest paid and best team in the division. I'm sure our defence doesn't need to be fully on the ball today. Who have they got playing for them that I know still? Going from the top down, you've got, I vaguely recognise the name Tyler Morton, but I don't know who that is. Fabio Carvalho, Fabio Vieira and Ben Brereton Diaz, all as their front 3, I assume. That's a very scary lineup when I'm playing with essentially a load of players I've never heard of and Joe Bellingham, as far as, real life knowing them goes. Pedro Neto on the bench. I mean, I'm just naming people who play for Wolves at this point. Yeah, play without pressure. I've got faith in you. And who's struggling? Let's give my attack a little boost. There we go. Barbrook's loving life now. Okay, Wolves are lining up in a 4-3-3, or is that a 4-3-2-1 almost? That was a very strange formation, but we're in our standard 4-3-1. Let's see what it looks like here. Yeah, it's like a 4-3-3, but you've got Vieira and Carvalho playing more central, so I'd say that's probably a 4-3-2-1 looking at it. Not that it really matters, but that's what I'd call it. Okay, 5th minute. Aliyu with a throw, he gets the ball to Wing. Foyo loses the ball though, or doesn't, get it taken off him, intercepted. And looking at maybe a counter-attack. Cassiani gets to Patino, coming to Fabio Vieira. Someone could really do with sticking a boot in here, but they're playing it relatively safe. And it comes all the way back to Ersin in goal. Cassiani, Morton. We're going to get a pass through, yeah. Carvalho. This is dangerous. They are very patient here, Wolves. Kasunu, Cassiani. That feels like a shot. Oh, what a piece of... Ugh. Oh, that deflection was brutal. I just took it straight into the top corner. Carvalho gets the ball out here. Comes out to Cassiani. And I was thinking he looks like he's lined up to shoot. And it was a relatively bad shot. It hit fucking Winterskill in the arse and bounced his top corner. It's not how we wanted to start this game off. 6th minute and we're 1-0 down. Okay, 13th minute and we've got another highlight starting with an Aliou throw-in. Let's hope that's not an omen. Gets the ball to Letton and Geordie. The ball sort of just bounces off his face, but it comes back out to Aliou. Looks to get a cross in. Looks like he's going to have space, but he chooses not to and gets it back to Wink instead. Geordie with a nice cross in. Winterskill, oh, and he tries to put it top corner, but heads it slightly over. Okay, 21st minute now. Another throw in, this time for Wolves. Cassiani coming forward again and absolutely skies it. Not many people here for Wolves today. A lot of empty seats. Bit disrespectful, being, as you know, it's essentially a top of the table clash. But, you know, it's fine. I won't take it personally. Although with how we've started, we haven't really looked too dangerous. That one header from Winterskill being our best opportunity. And we've got a 0.07 XG. Fabio Vieira with a free kick now in the 33rd minute. Comes out to Ben Brereton Diaz, who tries to... That's got to have been offside. Yes, it is. Okay, I was about to lose my mind at the levels of nonsense in that goal. Shot down, just bounces off one of their strikers. I didn't even see who it was. And bounces straight over to the other side. But it gets ruled out. Jim Aliou is struggling a little bit. We'll probably take him off at half time. He's played okay. But, you know, he's got his start that he was after. And that should be the end of his... Well, not the end of his moaning. But it should at least shut him up in the meantime for a little bit. We have got Barbrook streaming forward, though, after a nice clearance from Gahoon. Letton and plays Barbrook through, and he's through on goal here. Is he going to pass this across? No, he just puts it at the bottom corner. Absolutely fantastic. Buster Barbrook. What a finish. That was, as soon as you got the ball in all that space, you know something, you know, a little piece of magic could happen. Lovely little 1-2, sort of, little pass and go with Letton and there. And once he's through here, you know, if he's not going to shoot, he's definitely going to put Geordie through to score himself. We are back in the game. And looking at the match momentum, we have actually been coming back into it for a while. Oh, can we nick another one before half-time? 47th minute, Bellingham with a free kick to Aliou at the back post. And he scores. I was going to take Aliou off. I don't know if I should now. Oh, in off the bar. 2 goals in 5 minutes. Absolutely fantastic end to this second half. Looping free kick from Bellingham there. Aliou meets it at the back post. Headers it in. Very, very top corner in the on the right-hand side. Oh, God. That was such a good finish. I was certain we were going to end up probably 2-0 down. But no, that was 43rd, 47th in the first half. I'm happy with your performance. Everyone is buzzing. I do think Aliou, despite that goal, I do think he's going to have to come off, though, because he is struggling a little bit there. And I'm a little bit worried they're just going to start flying forward. Geordie's not done a whole lot so far, but I'm going to keep him on for now. Him and Alvaro are 2 people I'm thinking I might end up substituting, but we'll see how this second half starts. Ball nearly finds its way through to Barbrook, but it gets cleared, but only as far as Hughes. Foyer now picks it up. Alvaro, he's on a yellow actually, I probably should take Alvaro off, but in the meantime, Bellingham's put Barbrook through once again. Oh, what the hell? The most powerful save from a goalkeeper ever. It was like a relatively weak shot and then just cannoned towards the bottom corner of the screen. But now we've got Hughes with a corner, but it gets clear to Fabio Vieira, and Wolves going to look like they're coming forward. They pass it to no one, and we give it back straight back to them. But you know, nothing came of it, so that's all that matters. Long goal kick from Wolves, but we managed to end up with the ball. Barbrook now gets it surrounded by players. He's never going to get anywhere there. Baena and Diogo Liete, Cassiani. What are Wolves going to look to do here? Kasunu coming down the right-hand side. Fabio Carvalho looking to run at Hughes. Got Villagra. The ball finds its way into the middle to Brereton Diaz somehow. And I do think Meredith probably should have caught that, but, you know, it's gone out for a corner. Now we've got a Fabio Vieira corner. 56th minute here. Gets headed away nicely. Can someone chase that down, please? We're giving them so much space here. None of the defenders coming out to meet it. Only Geordie doing the legwork from the striker position, but nothing comes of it. So that is okay. Right, we're starting to get recommended subs. I was going to give it to the 65th or so minute. I always just set a random number. Yeah, everyone is dead on the feet. Winter's Gill, injuries affected him, so we're going to bring him on and bring Sissoko on for him. Alvaro will take off for Edgerton. Who else? Danny Wing's having a bit of a bad time, so we're going to bring on Benson in his place. And we just don't really have anyone who can slot into the Foyo spot. Although Foyo's played well, but just the fact that he's not full fitness according to the pre-match screen does worry me slightly. I am going to take, this might be a bit weird, but I'm going to take Geordie off and we'll bring O'Neill on. We'll make all 5 subs at this point. Let's hope that's not a decision that we live to regret. Pause this. I'll drop a quick encourage. Just try and get the players going. That did not get the players going. If anything, it got them going in the other direction. 73rd minute, a long Meredith goal kick. Comes up to O'Neill. Foyo picks it up, gets surrounded, but gets it safely to Edgerton, who potentially loses the ball, but we managed to get it back. Benson, Lettinen. Nice ball through to Barbrook. And he's done it. He scored. 7th goal of the season. 3-1 in the 73rd minute. We might have just sealed this victory. We should definitely not be ahead in this game, I feel like. They have had so much pressure, but it just seems like every time we go forward, it works out. It's been like this all season. I don't get it. Lettinen, lovely ball through. Lovely weighted pass to Barbrook, who just slots it back past Ersin in goal. But we have got a kick-off highlight here. This could be very bad for us. Cassiani looking to do something. Fabio Vieira panics and sends it back. Diogo Lete, okay. Baena coming down the left side, tries to cut him down, but he just gives the ball to Foyo, and now Sissoko is coming forward with it. Lettinen gets it back to Foyo. I feel like there's going to be a killer pass over, but we just keep taking that one extra pass and then giving it away. And now Hughes is looking to come forward himself. Don't lose the ball. That's a nice pass. I thought it was going to go to, is that Benson there? Yeah. But O'Neill gets it inside to Lettinen and comes to Barbrook again, who curls it in off the post, off the bar, I'm not sure. That's a very odd decision from Hughes, who just headers it out for a goal kick. But, yeah, that was kind of crazy. I'm just going to drop a quick praise. Players are all buzzing. Okay, keep them good for the last 10 minutes. We have definitely thrown away 2 goal leads in less time in recent history this season. Diogo Lete, long ball up. Kehoon managed to cut it out, but only as far as the wall strikers, and it comes through to Carvalho. This is all such a mess, but they managed to shoot it straight at Meredith, and it goes out for a corner. That was horrible. They definitely should have scored then, I feel like. Neto, shot blocked by Bellingham. This really is a back-to-the-wall effort here. I would like to change their tactics a little bit, but it's just not going to have any effect until we can actually get rid of the ball. Right, okay. We are under a bit of pressure here, so I'd like to, in possession, take things a bit slower, shorter passing, still what it's the box, run at defence, still leaving all this on. Time waste a little bit. We have still got 5 minutes of normal time plus added time, so I'm not expecting time wasting to do a whole lot just yet. 90th minute, we've got 4 minutes added time. Let's actually bump that time wasting up, bring that tempo well down, much shorter passing. No, normal passing, I don't want to go way much shorter, it scares me. Let's try and see this game out. We've only got 2 minutes left, I think we're good. They might end up getting 1 back, but it's looking unlikely. What a result. I definitely expected this to be a loss, so look at that extra. That's such like a back and forth game. That's brilliant. I can't believe we've come away from that 3-1 victors. I thought the best case we could hope for would be to keep it tight and nick a goal. But those 2 goals at the end of the first half really just absolutely destroyed Wolves, and there was no coming back from that. Town want a permanent deal struck for Barbrook. Yeah, no shit. We've literally just sold him. Winter's Gill has picked up a little injury. We're going to just leave him to the physio for now. Praise Barbrook's performance there. Eddie Howe spotted looking at Danny Wing. Thrilled with a comeback win. You can ignore these little decided. I'm basically just trying to find a few super young players, even if they're not, fantastic, just to pad out our under 18s. I don't know how viable of a strategy this is, but our under 18s are in the bottom. Yeah, not the bottom, the Division 3 for the under 18s league, and they're playing up against just absolute nobodies, but we can never quite manage to get promoted. So I'm just trying to find a few extra players to pad the team out. They'll never be good enough for the first team, probably. But ideally, you'd like to be up around the top of Division 2 or in the Division 1 of the, up with the best youth teams in the country. Just for the best opposition means better development as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, our under-21s side is kind of in the same position. We're in Division 3 there as well, and we'd like to get into the Premier Divisions. We are up a division from some teams you'd expect us to be below. I'm just trying to get these up because it would be a bit ridiculous if we did end up in the Premier League in the next season or two, and our youth teams that we're looking to, we're looking for our players to come through the youth teams to get into this first team to play in the Premier League, and instead we're getting just absolute nobodies coming in. It just doesn't make any sense. So, they're basically playing like in a park, which I suppose actually under 18s do that all the time. But anyway, we have actually just also completed a youth facilities upgrade. It actually happened probably an hour or two after we agreed to improve the training facilities, so that's a bonus. We are back in the automatic promotion spots, and we need to figure out when we're going to come back. So I could come back at what have we got coming up soon. We've got Millwall in 2 games' time. They're 4th, so they're in a good spot. Until then, we've got Fulham. So I might actually do a similar sort of jump. That's another 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Another 7-game jump. And we'll go forward to the Fulham match at the end of December. But yeah, for now, thank you very much for watching. If you've got any feedback, do leave a like or comment down below. It really does help out a great deal, and it means a hell of a lot to me as well. As I said, we're back with the Fulham game in the next episode. Literally the next top of the table clash. Can we make it 2 for 2 against the big dogs in the league? So you'll have to subscribe to make sure you don't miss that. So yeah, once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.